Hello, and welcome back to the Pure Nintendo Podcast. This is your weekly dose of all things Nintendo. My name is Jemma, and joining me this week, I have, welcome back, Kirk. How are you?
I'm good, and glad to be back at it.
Yes, glad to have you back. We missed you last week. So you've done the swapping thing again with Trev, so he's off this week. But you're back, which is great. And we have a lot to talk about as always. I did want to start by saying thank you to anyone who is listening who happened to come by the markets on the weekend. I was at the Comics by the Creek market in my hometown of Brisbane. Spoke to lots of cool people. I was able to share the magazine with lots of cool new fans, hopefully, and talked about the podcast as well. So if anyone is tuning in who happened to meet me there, thank you. It was so much fun, and thank you as always to our regular listeners, of course. We did have some cool comments during the week. I don't know if you saw those, Kirk, but there were two pretty neat ones. One was from one of our fans, Zane, who talked about a Minecraft test that he's been doing. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, this is really cool. Let me find the comment. Zane said he was doing some beta testing for Minecraft on Switch 2 and was able to give feedback before the launch in October. So I thought that was really neat. That's like he's a Minecraft fan. And he was able to do some beta testing with a group of friends and players. Yeah, super cool. And then Johnny, who's from the Perth Gaming Crew, who you should check out their show if you haven't before. They do great shows as well, great podcasts. Was talking about Federation Force. Now, I don't know if you heard the show last week, Kurt, because you weren't on the show, but Trevor was talking about Federation Force because it was an anniversary. The game itself is worth quite a bit, and I said it would be cool if a listener had it, and Johnny does. It's pretty neat. So he thinks it might not be worth as much because it's the PAL version, though, not the US version. Do you think that's a thing?
Yeah, I wonder. Well, yeah. I guess it depends on where the market is, really.
Yes.
Um,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Who knows? Be good to find out, though. Anyway, we've got a lot to cover. We're going to talk about some Kingdom Hearts stuff as well as Duskbloods. We've got Kirk's Corner is back as well as the games that we're playing. So let's kick things off with the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer that was released last week. I don't know how much you followed the Disney, what is it called? D23? That thing that they do every year? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy when it comes to Disney.
Disney. And I don't even know why it's called 23. Like, I'm sure there's a
23.
reason.
Yeah.
I thought it was the year, like it started maybe in the year 23, but that doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, you wouldn't think they'd want to date themselves, but
No,
who
no.
knows?
Anyway, Kingdom Hearts 4 we know is coming next year, and we knew it was coming to the Switch 2. They did kind of, I guess, reinforce the point that it is coming next year. They said late 2027. They seem committed to that kind of time period. It's not an exact date, of course. And the trailer does show some new content, which is mostly about Coco, the movie. Have you seen Coco?
I have actually. There, a positive, a yes answer finally
Yes.
on a Disney.
I thought you
Yeah,
might
I
have.
think. Yeah, my kids. I think they saw it in the theater and it was on TV, and I sat down and watched it with them. So yeah, I watched it and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So
Hmm.
that's seems to be something's happened to Sora. He's I don't know. He's trapped in this because Coco's kind of like a I don't know how you describe it. It's where the dead go before they move on to the next world or something like that. I don't know how to really explain that, but it's something where souls kind of go, and there's like that's where they live, and that's where Sora seems to be trapped. Yeah, sounds interesting. I wasn't sure if you were interested in this part though, because apparently a Kingdom Hearts anime series is in the works. Would you be interested in that side of
I
things?
I don't think so. No,
No.
no. I mean, I guess it would depend on who's developing it, and like
Hmm.
I've said, if they're going to bring in Disney characters, then you got to bring in Tron.
Yeah.
Tron, the
Yes.
black hole. I don't know. My Disney characters are not going to be part of Kingdom Hearts. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
You never know. Surely Tron, like the Tron, was it last year that had the Tron movie? There was a new Tron
Oh
movie.
yeah, but not that Tron. No, we don't want anyone
No.
from that Tron.
No. No.
Got to go back to 1982.
You want the main guy. What's his name?
Tron or Flynn.
Flynn. That's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
or Yori or Dumont or Sark. Any of them.
I would not give up hope. I'm just the optimistic.
Okay.
Maybe. Let's just hold out. You never know, right? And surely if there's an anime, they've got time. They've got the time, the room to explore further than just,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. And I don't know when that's coming either. I think it's just in the works. So it could be quite some time away, but it is a thing that's happening. So if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, yay, I guess. I'd check it out. I'd watch it. I haven't played a whole lot of Kingdom Hearts. I did try the demo. What was it? Whichever one was on the Switch 2 recently. I played that one. I did have one on my 3DS, which I don't even remember which one that one was. But yeah, that's about my foray into Kingdom Hearts. Anything else to add in terms of that?
No,
No, that's
no.
okay.
But I think you know our readers, our listeners knew what my answer was going to be when
Yeah,
you asked the
I think
question.
so. I certainly did, so that's fine. But I have to ask. I have to ask.
Yes.
Next up is Constance, which is a Metroidvania or an action adventure type of side-scrolling game that Trev actually reviewed back in, I think, early
Yes.
early June. Yes. Have you?
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you haven't?
Recently.
Yeah, recently, and it is in the mag as well. Actually, the review is in the latest issue of the magazine. And Trev really enjoyed it. He loved it. And I've actually got this game as well. I haven't even had a chance to try it yet, which is a bit of a shame, but I will be playing it. It just got a physical release for Switch 2 recently, actually at the end of July, which kind of slipped by. I didn't even know that happened, but that's out now. So you can get a Switch 2 with a free upgrade path, which is always nice. But there's more news. The team just announced last week that there is a physical release coming for the Switch 2, which is pretty neat. I love that. And there's no details about what will come with or when it will be released, but it's in the works, which is great. And the other cool thing, which is a bit of a extra information side note, whatever, there's a plush toy in the works, which I love these kinds of little extra, I don't know, merchandise opportunities.
Mhm.
I don't know if Trev is aware of this or if he's going to get it. It's from Makeshift, like that's the website. You can kind of pledge. I think they need a certain number of people. What is it? They're 87% funded as of recording. 175 have sold. So I guess they must need, I'm going to guess 200 maybe based on those numbers, something like that. There's still 10 days left. So it ends on the September the 3rd. So if you are a Constance fan and you did want to support the team with this plush, it's only $30. And yeah, you can, and it comes out in November. So it's only a couple months away anyway. I think that's pretty cool. Would you be interested, if it was a game you were interested in, would you purchase something like that?
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
I'll let you guess.
Oh,
What plush toy do I own from what game and what character?
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna.
one. I actually own one.
There's one. Surely it's either Fire Emblem or Xenoblade. Is it one of
It is
those two?
Fire Emblem.
Is Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem.
Which character? That is a good question. There's so many characters. Is it a female character?
No, no, it's a
No,
dude.
it's a male.
It's a
Is
dude
it
with boots on.
is it is it like Ike or something?
You got it. It's
Yeah,
Ike. Well done.
nice.
Yeah.
There you go. That is cool. I would like to see a picture of that, please, at some point.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll parade it. I had to move it because my cat was attacking it, and I don't know why. It's there with all my other Fire Emblem knickknacks,
Yeah.
and the cat just had to go after that plush. So I had to get it someplace safe. So now I'll need to locate it again. But yep, like
Ike, that's
and it looks.
awesome.
I'm looking at the Constance plush here, and it's kind of like the same design. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
same basic approach to what they did because I was looking at the screen captures for Constance and thinking it can't possibly be this character um, that they did, and they did, and it looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. It's sort of a bigger head body, I guess.
Yep,
Sorry, bigger head
yep,
and then smaller body, like a chibi style, I suppose. Would you call it that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Where
think
did you
so.
get your Ike from?
Oh, I can't even remember. Probably I don't know. Might have gotten it from CD Japan or Yes Asia or somewhere one of those websites. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. You've had it for a while then.
Yes, yeah, and they released. I think there were four that came out at the time. There may have been Marth. I
Hmm.
can't remember the other two, and the only one I picked up was like that was the only one from Radiant Dawn or Path of Radiance.
Oh, okay, cool. I really wanted to get the Star Fox plush toys that they
Hmm.
sort of announced or released. I don't know if they're out yet. They sold out so fast though. I didn't get my hands on them. There's four of them on my Nintendo store. And yeah, one of each of the main four characters in the team. They look really cool. And they're not the chibi style, they're like more in proportion, I suppose. And I think they were about $30, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
they seem to be sold out. I'll keep checking to see if they have any more stock though. But I don't know if I could just get Star Fox, Fox McCloud, or if I'd need all four. It would just seem a bit. He'd seem a bit lonely on his own. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I pulled it off with Ike because everyone was from separate games,
Mhm.
so I was fine
True.
just having the one. But yeah, if they released a whole set from one particular game, you'd think you'd want them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Let us know, listeners, what cool plushies you have. That'd be nice to know. There's a lot out there. I do have lots of Mario toys. I did get a cool one in Japan. It's the Elephant Mario from Mario Wonder. That
Mm.
was pretty neat. Yeah, I like that one. That's very cool. Excellent. Well, yeah. So, Constance, let us know, listeners, if you are a player and if you've upgraded to the Switch 2 version. I would love to know if Trev's actually upgraded because he should test it and see what the improvements are. In fact, I could probably do that too, but I didn't really play the Switch 1 version. So for me, it would be all Switch 2. But it
Mm.
already looks pretty nice with the colors and the paintbrush and everything. Mm, yes. Next up, Gamescom is on this week. So it starts on the 26th, which is Wednesday, runs till the 30th of August. It's being touted as a pretty big event. Nintendo's there, lots of other big companies are there. I guess I wondered, I don't know how much we're going to get out of this event because, in terms of announcements and things like that, it might just be stuff we already know about. There is an opening night presentation, which I think is run by that Jeff guy. What's his name? Jeff Keighley? Is that his name?
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably watch that and see if anything happens, or at least look at the highlights. I was just wondering if you had any expectations or
Uh,
thoughts of any kind that might
I,
happen.
I do kind of
Yep.
unfair though because I've sort of been tipped off on some
Oh,
of the things under
okay.
embargo. I get press releases. Well, I was on a website, part of something where I think the press site had me listed as somebody who's attending, and I'm not, unfortunately.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
So I was getting meeting invitations. But then there was also, we're going to announce this, agree to the embargo, we could send you details. So I do know some things that are on the way. Most of it, of course, was like PC oriented, I believe.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the companies that are attending will be sending Nintendo's way because there are some announcements coming.
Cool. But nothing we can say today, obviously, by the sounds of it.
No, and I don't even have the details yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they contact me and say, "Pure Nintendo, agree to this," and I have,
Mhm.
but they haven't said the content. So,
Ah, okay, fair enough. Yes.
yep.
Yeah, I think there will be some cool stuff announced, like you said, for PC or even other consoles. But we
Mhm.
know now that a lot of this stuff does make its way to the Switch 2. So
Yes.
it still affects us as fans and players. So yes, I don't have any specific expectations. Like I can't think of a specific game I'm hoping to hear about. I think what is the big one that's coming out? Grand Theft Auto, is that the one that's coming out that everyone's
Uh,
clamoring about in it's like November or something?
is it? Yeah, I know it's been pushed back, and I know my sons talk about it, make jokes about it, about how everybody's going to take off work that day, and
Yes.
production across the world is going to drop by 80%.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, I don't know the exact date. It's not a game I play.
No, well, me neither. And it's not coming to Switch 2 at this point, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be an announcement that it was coming to Switch 2. I don't know if it will or not. I don't know if that's a thing. This is just a speculation or a question, really, on my behalf. That would be interesting if it did get a date or a Switch kind of release, Switch 2 release. Same with that Star Wars Racer that already came out on other consoles. If that got a Switch 2 release, that would be quite interesting and nice. Other than that, I don't think Nintendo is going to use that platform to announce like an Ocarina of Time release date or anything like that. They'll do that, in their own time, in their own way, as much as people would.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as
Yeah.
people
I
would
think
like to.
Nintendo's oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I'm done. You go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'd love all, Nintendo would give us some new stuff there, but I think they're using these kind of shows to show off stuff they've already announced and
Hmm.
get the games in front of people and talking about them. And that I think that's a good approach.
Yeah, that's great. And I think, like for example, Fire Emblem might be there, which is coming out in September, so people
Hmm.
might be able to get some hands-on time with that. I hope there'll be a PAX in Australia in October. That would be neat. And by then we might know more about Ocarina of Time. Imagine if I get my hands on it then. Oh my gosh, that would be exciting. So
Oh, fun.
yeah, that'd be really fun. We'll
Get in
see.
line, get in the queue.
Yeah. Well, if there's, I mean, if they are there, I don't even know if they've announced. I don't think Nintendo said they're coming yet, but last year they didn't announce it till like a month before or something like that. So in the next few weeks they should. But if they are there and I get to do that 1 hour media time, I'll be straight for Ocarina of Time because that will be the biggest queue. Like last year it was Metroid Prime 4. I went straight to that. And even in the media hour, I had to wait. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be a big week. We'll sort of keep an eye on anything that happens and talk about it next week if there's anything relevant that we are excited about or want to talk about on the show. Yeah, see what happens. But I know some people who are going, which is pretty cool. Be fun to go, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Although I think I'd lean more towards Tokyo Game Show myself.
true. Well, when that's soon as well, right? Is that September?
I think so. Yeah, it's coming up. I've got
Yeah.
questions about that one too.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that would be cool. I think we should try to go to that one year because it's Japan. It's great. It's not far for me. It's probably a bit better for you. But we should try to do that one year. We should try to go and meet up. That'd be
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Be wonderful.
Yes. Let us know
Although,
this.
honestly, so would Gamescom.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yes. But as I've said to you before, it's like 30+ hour flights
Yeah,
for me.
okay.
But I wouldn't say no. Honestly, I would love to go. I think that'd be great. I would definitely not say no. Let us know, listeners, if you happen to be going to Gamescom. That would be pretty cool. Or if you're excited and hoping for something in particular, let us know your thoughts. Let's move on to the final piece of news for the week, which is the Duskbloods. Now, last week I did say that I was going to be taking part in the network test. So that happened on the weekend.
Oh, you did get in?
I
Yeah,
did, yes.
great.
Apparently, it was first come, first serve. So when you applied, and this was a few weeks ago, you had to put the application in online. The way that they chose people wasn't like a lottery. It was just
Okay, good.
if you got in first, you got selected. So I must have been fast enough to get in, which is cool. The first session was on Friday night, my time, and I jumped online at 8 p.m. Was 8, yeah, 8 p.m. I started. Jumped online, waiting for it to load. I'm like, yeah, cool, cool. A few minutes later, I'm like, still loading. What's going on? And I could have been my internet. Thought it might be my internet, but still waited. I then went online and started looking around, and I saw a streamer who was doing a live stream, and they had the same issue. I ended up giving up, and I tried again later, but I gave up, and because this guy was having the same problem. I'm like, okay, it's not just me. There's obviously an issue. I checked in with this guy a few times over the next couple of hours. He live streamed for 2 hours. He had like over
Wow.
1,000 people watching. So and they were chatting, they were talking about things. So yeah, there was an issue on the first night. So a lot of people didn't get in. They actually cancelled it after 2 hours and apologized and said there were issues. So it was a thing. But that's why they have tests, right? A lot of people were like, oh, Nintendo, they must be, I don't know, shaking in their boots or whatever, feeling really bad for themselves. But it's like, well, it was a test. It didn't work. They apologized. It's fine. It was a
Yeah,
free game. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, do they really have to apologize when this is the very thing that they're testing it for?
Yes. Yeah. And I believe some people did get in. I don't think everyone
Yeah.
was blocked, but I think most people were unable to get in. And the next session was fine. I didn't do the next session because I was at the markets the next day.
Okay.
But I saw online that it was fine. People were in, and I did do a session just last night, so Sunday night in my time zone. I tried again. There was because they're 4 hour sessions, and I think there were 5 sessions over the weekend. I think there's still one more today. We're recording on Monday. This podcast will also, well, for me, I know it's Sunday for you, Kirk. This podcast will launch on Monday, so there is one more session I may or may not jump on, but I did have a go last night, and I guess I have many thoughts actually. Happy to describe the game to people. First of all, it looks amazing. The graphics are truly wonderful. Like I was really impressed with the look of this game. It's just very detailed. The backgrounds are just wonderful. It's very dark. Obviously, it's a vampire-centric game, so it's kind of set at night, but there's like a big red blood moon. There's lots of gothic buildings and
Ooh,
towers.
is the blood moon rising? Did someone
Yeah,
warn Link?
yeah. I don't know. It was rising, I think. They talk about all sorts of things like that. There's a lot to it as well, though. So when I first joined, and I guess it'll be the same for the full game. I don't know. You play through kind of a tutorial, which is really handy, obviously, to get to know the moves and the controls and the environment. I love that because it's vampire lore, you kind of have a few special abilities. Like you can jump really high, and you can also not just double jump, not just triple jump, you can quadruple jump. I don't know why they have to cut it off at 4, but you can you can do 3 extra jumps after your first jump, which is pretty cool. That means like distances aren't really a problem. You can get on top of buildings pretty easily. You can clear vast canyons or whatever, like valleys pretty easily. So that's really nice. I felt like I was like an immortal vampire type of character. I didn't feel like just a human or someone with that kind of, issue. You can run as well. You've got the character I was using was called Albert. He's like the first person you start with, and he has a sword, so he's attacking with his sword. But he also has a machine gun for some reason. But he has a machine gun which you can
Wait,
use.
he has a sword and a machine gun, and he was using his sword.
Yes, yes, he was.
I guess the machine gun can run out of bullets, so you have to
Yeah, you only
conserve
get
them.
like 40 bullets. I
Okay.
think they recharge, but it's only you can just like do like a little blast, and then you have to wait for it to recharge, and then a little blast. So it's not as useful as you might think. So you tend to use your swords. There's a lot going on. I wasn't very good, but I did my best. I did my best. It's third person as well, which I like. I think I prefer that to first person. So you can see your character, and it feels very much like, I don't know, is it a Xenoblade or a Breath of the Wild type of action adventure in that sense, in terms of third person using a sword kind of thing. So you go through the tutorial. There's a few different levels you can play, and it takes you through what is the main part of the game. It's this multiplayer online thing where you join with, in the test, I think it was 8 people. I don't know if that is the number in the full game or if it's just for testing purposes, but it was 8 people. The test, the tutorial, sorry, lets you do it with sort of CPU characters, so you can get a feel for how it works because there are 4 phases in this online battle, and phase 1 is kind of more about exploring and just kind of leveling up and killing enemies. Yeah, you can find these helpers. I think they're called. No, I can't remember the name. Sorry. You can get like this spirit helper who kind of follows you and helps you in battles. There's these bigger enemies who are there that you can take down, and they give you extra points. You're trying to increase something called valor, which is like a number, and I don't really understand how that works. But killing things and especially the bigger enemies, there's some huge enemies. They give you more of this valor points. It's a little complicated, I will say, but that's why you get to do the tutorial first. When I jumped into some real matches with real people, I had no issues. Like it worked fine. The network was fine. I didn't have any dramas network wise, which is the thing they were obviously testing. So that's good. That was positive. But I died a lot. And I did not win at all. I got to phase 3 of 4 in my first round, which I was happy with, and then I did 2 more rounds. I got to phase 2, and I did get to the final phase once actually as well, so that's not too bad. But these people, I don't know how they're so good already, but they're very good, and they're killing me very quickly. So yeah.
Just a knack for it. I
Yeah.
assume I'm going to assume that the gameplay is similar to other games like this, and maybe if you played similar games, then you just kind of have the initial gameplay down, and then
Yes.
you just need to learn the idiosyncrasies, and so they had to jump on you because of that.
Probably. Yeah, they're calling this, is it a Souls-like game? Is that a thing? I've never played,
Yeah,
but that's what this is.
yeah, yes.
Yeah. And so some people are saying, "Oh, why is this Nintendo exclusive? Nintendo players don't like Souls games," which is a very negative thing to say. So obviously some people do because they were playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even I
Well,
played
that
it.
and
Mm.
I mean, if it's the type of game that doesn't usually come to Nintendo, then those who do want it are all going to hop on it. So you've
Exactly.
got a hungry audience for it.
I
Sure, yeah,
think
bring
so
it over.
too. Yes. And I don't know if it's my style, and I don't really even know what a Souls game is. I loved Star Wars, what was it called? Was it Star Wars Hunters, the one that I was obsessed with for a little while, where it was online matches?
Yeah, yeah, I
It's good.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's no longer available. They took that down, but I played that a
yeah.
lot. I get similar vibes. Like there's way more detail and a lot more to Duskbloods, but in essence, you're in an online match fighting people and trying to win. So kind of the same. I don't know if that is also a Souls-like game. I don't know. I haven't looked that up. I did like it. Like I did enjoy it. I do hope, and this is me being that what these comments were saying, a typical Nintendo person, I guess, in that I would love a one-player mode. I would just love just because it really looks nice. It looks beautiful. It plays well. I love the lore and the characters, and I like these types of action games where you're going through and doing missions and there's a goal, whatever. That's me. I like that. So I hope there's a one player mode as well. I'm not against the online stuff at all. I think it was really fun. Like I said, it worked really well. I would definitely play more of it. Like I will play this game and I will hopefully get a bit better. And I like the phase approach because that was a really neat way to break it down, just in terms of the different things you do in each phase. Like in one of the phases, two or three, something opens up where you have to go and you can do these rituals. Like you kind of just press Y, but doing this ritual gives you more of this kind of these points, the valor or virtue, whatever it is. And then it's sort of a ranking system. The one who has the most of this valor, I think it's valor. Sorry if I'm getting this wrong. It starts with a V. Is the top sort of six move on to the next phase, and then the very final phase is like an all-out brawl, and it's just whoever's left. And I think by then it's the top four maybe, and so those top four people are just brawling for 2 or 3 minutes, whatever it is. The time limit's there, and just trying to kill each other. I think you only have 2 lives during that period. That's where I was just getting beaten like crazy, and one of the characters turned into a dinosaur and just munched on me. I'm like, "What? My character doesn't do that. I didn't learn that move. Like, what is going on?" So yeah, there's a lot to it. There's heaps to it. Like the controls are pretty the controls are fine. They're pretty intuitive, I guess, once you know. Like you can run fast, you can press, button to attack. But then there's through the cheat, you're getting all these extra information. Like this is how this works. This is how this works. I'm like, I don't remember all of this. This is a lot of information. But of course, the more you play it, the more you know, right? So you get used to it, and it becomes part of it. And like you said, if this is similar to other types of games, then people have that kind of head start already. So yeah, I know I've said that a few times, but it really does look good. It really looks good. Did you hear anything about it over the weekend? Did any of your kids play it, or
Um,
anyone get onto it?
no, well, yeah, Sam, um, is into it. He and his
Mhm.
friends have already talked about getting this game. I think I mentioned on the show that I asked him if he was going to, hop onto this test run, and he said he doesn't like to do that because he doesn't want to write a
Oh,
report.
that's right. Yes.
But yeah, this is very much on their radar. So I will probably at one point at least experience it. I don't know if I'm going to get it myself because like you, I'm just going to die constantly.
Yeah.
I would rather watch someone else play it, especially as I'm going through these screen captures or I don't. Anyway, the artwork that they have on the Nintendo website, the settings just look phenomenal.
Mm,
And you
mhm.
said they look this good in the game?
Oh, they look amazing, honestly.
Oh,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. I was so impressed. I wanted to take photos, but they said, "Well, you can't. It's blocked. You can't take screenshots." And like I could have taken
Okay.
a photo with my phone, but they did say not to do that. So I didn't. I didn't want to break that trust. Like I had the access. I know people did put some screenshots on, but I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. If they ask me not to,
Yeah.
I won't do that. But it did look good, and it sort of reminded me of and this is a little bit of a left field comparison, but I guess it's like if Castlevania was a Souls-like game, maybe. Except he doesn't have a whip though, so I don't know. But that's what it gave me Castlevania vibes, but really, really good,
Yeah.
detailed third person Castlevania vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that kinda like, I don't wanna say medieval, Victorian era
Yeah.
European feel to it.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks, uh, completely appropriate for a game centered around vampiric lore.
Yes, definitely. I couldn't work out because you can drink blood somehow, and I'm sure they said the R button, but also the R button is attack, so I don't know how that works. You can do things to the enemies that sort of not sedate them, but kind of make them weaker or like not unconscious either, but just like they can't move for a certain period of time. I never could pull that off, so I didn't work out how to do that. But apparently that's when you can suck their blood, and there's blood powers, which I didn't even really use that. So maybe that's why I was losing. Maybe blood powers is how you turn into dinosaurs, for example. I wasn't. I was just slashing my sword and running and jumping, and so yeah, that's me. But anyway, good fun. I had fun with it. Yeah, I had fun with
All
it.
right, great.
Yeah. I'd love to know if anyone else played it. Listeners, did you get a chance to try the Duskbloods network test? What did you think? Are you interested in this game when it comes out? There's no release date at the moment, it's just 2027 at this stage. But it looks like it's moving along pretty well. Like they had enough to do this test. There were some areas that were obviously blocked and some menu items that you couldn't access, which is why I'm hoping there's still a little first person campaign or something tucked in there just for people to do on the side. I think that'd be pretty neat. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on to Kirk's Corner. What do you have for us this week?
Speaking of games that look good, but for completely different reasons, I have a game. I'm doing something I don't normally do. I had a game that's coming out in October that I was going to talk about because I missed the chance to talk about Future Night, which is the game I have here. It's already out. It came out in early August. But I wanted to point it out anyway because this game is yeah, and I'm sure it's already running here on YouTube. Hopefully, you're watching this on YouTube. It's just kind of like a fighting game. It looks like, but it visually it's based on the old LCD games, kind of like let's say Game and Watch kind of thing. But with like these colorful backgrounds, and then you have the LCD characters on top of it. And it's not just like those old LCD games. There were like maybe 5 or 6 areas of animation where they
Mm.
just kind of popped into it. There's a lot more going on here than that. But the design is meant to look like an old LCD game with like the black outlines of the characters that you're playing or the objects, and they're kind of like stand out a little bit, so it looks like they're on a screen above something else, like those old LCD games were. I, I don't know a whole lot about the game other than the visuals, honestly. But the visuals were so striking and so unique because we get a lot of these retro games all the time, but how often do we see LCD inspired retro
Yeah,
games? It's
I
always
was
8-bit or 16-bit.
totally.
And yeah, and now what is LCD? 2-bit?
Yeah, probably.
um yeah, but there is some color. They did get some color in here. The weird thing about the game too is like, you're thinking an LCD game, there's not a whole lot going on, but it's rated M
Right.
for crude humor and sexual themes. So I don't know what that's about. You could watch the video, and I don't see anything in there. But yeah, some really weird looking characters. And the press release does say they described it as a run and gun action game. No swords, no melee, just you, your techno blaster, and relentless projectile combat against hordes of enemies.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, it's an LCD action game, and if you've ever played any of those LCD games, the action was not any good.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
you could play it on a watch, chances are it's not going to be a very intense game. But this one looks like it has a lot going on, so we're pulling those old graphics into modern gameplay, and I couldn't praise it more visually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I was going to say the exact same thing that you see all these retro inspired titles, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. Wow. Are we do we have the chance to review this game or
Yes, we do. It's and I'm not going to bore our readers with this, but it's available through a system that's very difficult to use and
uh
annoying to bother with. So I haven't actually put in for it yet. But if there's enough interest amongst the writing crew, then yeah, maybe I'll follow up. If we
yeah.
don't, though, yeah, at least it's too bad there's not a demo. I feel like this is the
Mm,
kind of game
mhm.
that would sell itself more if you could actually see it in action on your
Totally.
system. There is no
Yes.
demo, but it's only $15 and it's out there now. So yeah, Future Night, and that's night as in knight in shining armor.
Mhm.
Um, Check it out. And if we don't cover it, play it and let us know if we should.
Yes, that is a good point. Yes, definitely do that. $15 is pretty good. Future Night. I love that it's future, but it's like retro. So that's a bit of a, I don't know, opposite kind of
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? Yeah. Future. Mm. That does look pretty unique. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And yes, as you said, if listeners have played it or heard of it, let us know. And should we play it? Because we will. Thank you. Now
Yep.
we have plenty of time to talk about the games that we're playing. Looks like we have two each to talk about this week. So I will kick things off with the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion Remastered, which I did mention recently on the show. I got the physical copy. So it did come during the week. I think it must have come this time last week. I think it was Monday. And so I have had a chance to jump in and play it. I have no experience with this series at all. Like I am completely fresh to this. So I had no idea what to expect, to be honest. I kind of just grabbed it because it was a good price, and I have been loving my physical stuff at the moment. And also, it's a new game that's a big deal because it's on Switch 2, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, it's really good. It's fun. It feels like I'm playing, like Lord of the Rings world of some sort. Like it's all very fantasy based. There's magic and there's elves and there's all sorts of creatures. So it feels like I'm in that sort of world. Now, obviously, it's the fourth game, but this is a 20-year-old game. Like it's from 2006, but this is the remastered version. So it's been built, using a different engine, and there's heaps of quality of life improvements. But I have not played the original, so I can't really compare it, but I can just tell you what my experience of this one is like. And again, the graphics in this, similar to Duskbloods, I guess, they look really nice. It is visually very beautiful. Lots of nice backgrounds. It's more of that, I guess it's medieval, like there's castles and wilderness, like lots of grasslands. It's very open world. You have a lot of traveling to do, but you can fast travel. But there's a lot, if you wanted to walk through the world and just do what you want, you can. And you get attacked by random creatures and things. One thing that struck me, especially this is the very beginning, a couple of things. First of all, Patrick Stewart is the voice of the Emperor in the beginning, the sort of first chapter or tutorial, whatever it is, the introduction when you start playing, which I thought was cool. I'm like, is that Patrick Stewart? And I looked it up, and it was. So I thought that was
You
pretty
say
neat.
it's hard to mistake that voice with
Yes,
anyone else.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So that was really cool. I'm like, huh, it's neat. I like Patrick Stewart. He just does a good job. The other thing is you can choose the, and I know I've said this for a few other games, but the avatar creation is next level. Like you could spend hours on your avatar. You can choose from a class of characters. And do you have any experience with this game or the series, Kirk, before I go too much with it?
I do not. I do
Yeah,
not.
I thought you might be like me as well. So yeah, you can choose. I'm not the most decisive for people, so it was kind of hard. But yeah, you can choose from a very vast array of characters or types of characters. You can get your big burly knights, you can get your little elves, you can get all sorts in between, little goblin-y type people, and then you can make them, male or female. But then you can customize the face. You can make the eyes closer together. You can make the eyebrows go high. You can make the brow furrowed. You can make the chin jut out or skinnier or wider. The nose, it can be a button nose. It can be a little fleck up at the end. It can be, again, wide or thin or tall or narrow, whatever. It's like the degree of customization is. This might now be the most customizable avatar creation tool that I've seen. I'm pretty sure. I think Hogwarts Legacy was pretty detailed too, but I think this might be more detailed than that. So, yeah, there's a lot to that. And then you're in prison, you start off in prison, and people who've played this will know the story, of course, but you're on a mission from this emperor, who is Patrick Stewart, to kind of save the world. There's this place, this dimension, I guess, called Oblivion, and there's a gate that's open and it's letting demons through, and you have been tasked with closing this gate. So I'm only a couple hours in. I'm not too far in this one at the moment, but yeah, I'm enjoying my time with it. The frame rate's meant to be 30. I know a lot of people are talking about the frame rates. I don't particularly care, but it's 30, and that's fine. I think I have noticed a little bit of choppiness, but nothing to detract the gameplay from my end. Like the sort of sword play is fine. It's first person, which isn't my favorite way to play, but it's a first person game, and that's fine. I've gotten a bit more used to that with the likes of Resident Evil more recently. So yeah, it is a first person game. What else can I say? Yeah, it's a good port, and it's great that it's on Switch too. And I know a lot of people are really happy about that. So I am happy for them. I'm happy I picked it up. I'm happy I've had a chance to play it. This is the type of game that I would never have played if it didn't come to Switch too. So this is like, yeah, really making, like, helping to expose these types of games to people like me who have never come across them before. So I love that. I love that aspect. And it's got me interested for sure. I'm going to keep playing it and see how I go. I think it's meant to be, I think it's one of those games you can do side quests and you can take as long as you want. I don't think it's a Xenoblade type of situation where it's hundreds of hours necessarily. I believe it's sort of 20, 30, 40 kind of hours for the main game, and then a lot more if you're doing all the side quests as well. So, yeah, got a long road ahead. I love this one thing where you can use your magic as a guide. What's it called? Clairvoyance, I think. It's the magic you can, or maybe this is just my character though. I don't know. My character has the magic, and because I get lost and distracted, and so I'm like, where am I going? And you can use your magic, and it sends this little silvery blue line ahead of you to tell you where to go. I think that's really cool. There's a huge world map. There's lots to explore. So I'm looking forward to finding more and more about this game. Did you have any questions for me, Kai?
Yeah, I guess the only one I have is, you talked about not really having much exposure to it before it was
Mm,
released to
mm.
Switch 2, and Switch 2 makes these games available to us. But obviously, what about the early games of the series? Do you think you need any sort of background with anything of this, or does it pretty much just pick up and let you start here from four?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's pretty much picks you up into this game. So and drops you off. Yeah, I don't think you need to play the previous entries. So I wasn't feeling confused or lost or anything like that. I don't know how it connects to the previous titles or the next one as well. I don't know what the connection is from a story perspective, but I felt fine. I mean, you're creating your character, so I guess your character's not necessarily in. It's not like Link, who is in all of them. It's your own creation, so I don't know how that fits in. I don't know what the timelines are, but I certainly didn't feel lost. Yeah. It was a really cool intro because yeah, you start in prison and then the king or the emperor, I think, comes with some guards and you kind of just end up following them and then helping them and getting this mission passed on to you sort of thing. So yeah, it was a really good intro to the game. I liked it. You didn't wake up with amnesia. I don't know why I was in prison though. Hmm. Not sure about that. Maybe that happened at the end of 3. Yeah.
Could be, and it looks like five is available.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
Switch too. So, people may have already played that and can now go back and if they woke
Yes.
up in prison in 5, now they can know why when they reach the end of 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Because I know there's not a 6 at the moment, is there? I think that would be the next one that they're talking about. I feel like I've seen online that people are talking about what 6 could be like. I think there's
Yep.
a 6 yet. No, you have not heard of that, have you?
No,
No.
I haven't. But yeah, it's not a series that I followed too closely, although it sounds like
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it's coming. It's an upcoming action role playing video game because it's from Bethesda, which is that the team who makes or the publisher who does Fallout?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, cool. Kirk will know them at least from Fallout. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know if 6 has. Oh, it's just a working title, so I feel like that's still a little ways away. And it looks like 5 was in 2011, so it's a big gap actually between entries. Considering 4 was 2006, 5 was 2011, and now 15 years later, we still haven't got a 6. So that's interesting because I think this did really well. The original one in 2006, I think it was, Game of the Year type of worthy uh, contender. So I know it was really popular at the time. So yes, interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that series and with this game. If I have more to talk about in the future, I will let you know.
Okay.
But let's move on to your first game. What are you playing this week?
I am playing a game that was. It's not out yet, actually. It's being released on August 27th. It is Brigandine Abyss, which I talked about recently. This is it's coming to Switch 2 only. It's being released by NIS America. It's a turn-based strategy game. If you look at any trailers for it, they don't have any on the Nintendo eShop. In fact, they only have 4 screen captures on the Nintendo eShop.
Mm.
Um, it looks like it's a turn-based strategy game along the lines of Fire Emblem, except this is the one with the on the grid. You've got hexagonal. I don't know exactly how to pronounce
Yeah.
that. Forgotten. Um, it- based layout here, so you're being attacked from all different kinds of sides, or six sides anyway. I'm
Yeah.
making this much more complicated than it sounds, but that's because the game itself is complicated and it's hard to wrap your head around it.
In a good way.
Unlike Fire Emblem or those kind of things, there are different phases to this game. It's not just the grid based combat. That's only a third of it. Um, I think I mentioned that in the past I reviewed a game. I have it here. Let me see how long ago I did this one. All the way back in 2020, I reviewed a game called Brigandine: The Legend of Runersia, which was along kind of the same thing. Very complicated, hard to wrap your head around, because not because the game itself is not done well, but because there's just a lot going on. You're not just doing these attacks; you are also deciding how to branch out. It's like a real-time strategy game along the lines of like the old Age of Empires, where you are slowly working your way across the map. You're conquering other armies. You're getting people to join you. You have to leave people there and branch out from there to go attack somewhere else. But at the same time, other people are attacking you. So you need to leave some of your characters behind to defend. You can, in the different phases of the game, aside from the attack phase, like I mentioned, there are planning phases where you need to decide, you need to upgrade, and certain I want to say countries, territories have different items that you'll need to pick up. So you kind of have to take that into account when you're going to plan. Like if you need a certain item, we better go take over this country because I need iron, for example. So I got to take that over to get the iron, but you can't overextend yourself. It's a lot. And on top of that, in this game, there are, I believe, 24 nations. So, and you can start the game as any of those 24 nations. So there is a lot, and I mean a lot of replay value in this game, because it takes a long, long time to win this map. And each nation has its own characters. I should also point out that it's not like Fire Emblem where you just recruit other people along the way. You basically get, I want to say generals, but that's not really it. Each time you get the main character, and when you go into combat with that person, you can assign different soldiers, different beasts that have different capabilities. There are like unicorns that can heal. There are wolves that are very fast on their attacks, and you kind of stack them up with them. So when you move one person, you're not just moving that person, you also decide where to move all the people who are under the command of that person. So there is an awful lot to control. That's good because it keeps like the main characters down a little bit. But there is a lot of strategy on what animals or soldiers you're going to assign to different people, what type you're going to leave behind, how to level them up, because you can level up everybody. When some of these minor characters die, you can spend money to resurrect them if you want to bring them back at the same level. But then you're losing the money that you may need to level up the main people. So it goes on and on like this. So with the 24 nations, that's an awful lot of different ways to start. And it's, there's an awful lot to consider, and it can be overwhelming, but they have changed one thing. I mentioned all that to get to this. They changed one thing in Brigandine Abyss, and that they have created what is basically a story mode, where you still have the ability to start as now, maybe one of four different of the 24, and it tells more of a story. You get anime, not the best anime cutscenes, but anime cutscenes nonetheless. They're kind of guiding you along, and it sort of takes you along a certain path. You still decide whether you want to attack the country or the territory to the east or the west, but it's not just this wide open territory where you just have carte blanche and can do whatever you want, and you dig yourself into a hole that you can't get out of. They sort of guide you a little bit more, and I think that's a really, really nice touch, because people who have played the previous games and are into games with this much strategy and this much depth to them, they could just bypass this and go right into the traditional gameplay. But everyone else who's just looking for, say, something along the lines of Fire Emblem, and again, it's a loose connection there. Don't think you're getting a Fire Emblem experience in this, just the basic gameplay elements. Um, if you're used to that and you don't want to be completely overwhelmed, now it can kind of ease you into it. And it did make me a lot more comfortable with this one when I started this review than I was with the Legend of Runersia 6 years ago when I played that. So I think it's a nice touch. that they did that this way. I'll cover it quite a bit more in my review, which is just about ready to go. But yeah, this is the type of game. It's $50, and you could play this for years. It's not even joking. There's just so much going on here, and so many different ways you can approach it. And with 24 different starting points, even if you play all 24, you could then go back to the beginning and just do it completely differently. Play this nation that you've already done, and still have a completely different experience because all the different things that you can do on this.
Mm,
So
wow, that's a lot.
yeah.
So, which nation did you choose to start with?
I can't remember the name. I'm
Ah,
going to have to
do
apologize.
they have
I'll have to go back.
do they have cool names
Uh,
though?
yeah, they do, and they all have different characters. Again, I based it on the characters that they had. They don't. Most of them were just like human characters. There's one that I didn't pick, which is kind of more of a fairy sort of nation. Um, I like when I pick, I always look at the ones where I think this is the one they meant for us to start with because it's going to be the most basic, or
Mm,
just like the most obvious strategies. If I'm controlling these fairy characters, then I know they're going to have very unique abilities that I'd better see how the AI is using them against me,
mhm.
so I know how then can learn and know how to use them against everybody else.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot to that. I thought when you first brought this up, the hexagonal battles, I was thinking of the one you brought up just a few weeks ago, the beaten path one that's coming out next year. But it's not, it's different. So it's not
No,
the
yeah,
only
this
yeah, there's a couple of battle turn-based games that use this hexagonal approach then.
yeah, yeah, and I have seen it a few times in the past. It really does make things. I don't want to say it makes it more complicated because although you can be attacked from more points, you can attack from those points too, and it has some nice features like if you're able to get characters around to the other side of someone you're attacking, you can kind of like chain them in, and it makes it so you can do more damage to them. There
Mm,
is a lot of strategy you can use on the battlefield, but also there's a lot of dead time. The when you start out on the battlefield, you may have three different people on at once, but they're not close to each other, so you kind of like got to bring everyone together and figure out, am I going to put these two here and let this person attack by itself, or should I bring them all together and attack? And of course, there are as you're working your way up towards the enemy, you can cast buffs on yourself so that when you do reach them, you're prepared with a little more power than you would have otherwise. An awful lot to think about as you go through and raise money and decide who you're gonna ally with and who you're not. Just yeah, a lot
mm.
going on. It's for the kind of people who would go to a gaming convention and sit at a table with some
Yeah.
other players and roll dice for 12 hours straight and never even stop for lunch.
Yeah. And it also has a demo available. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah, I'll be curious to see. I mean, I hopped right into the with the review code that we were provided. I do recommend the demo on this.
Thank you, Kirk. That sounds really deep and exciting, and I look forward to your full review. I do hope you're enjoying it. Sounds, I mean, the last game you gave a fairly good score, so hopefully this one kind of matches expectations.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
think this one's going to do a little bit better.
nice, cool. Well, my next game is an RPG. It's called Small Saga. Oops, I wrote the wrong name there. Saga. And we were given a code by the company, by Justin, actually. He sent this to me. They were really nice. They actually said they always get Australian codes. They have extras. And so they just gave me an Australian code just for fun. I'm like, that's really nice. Thank you. So I have been playing this one and we are reviewing it, but I do believe I'm not reviewing it. I'm just playing it for fun and someone else is reviewing it because we got a US code as well. So I think Kaylin's reviewing this one and I've just had a bit of a go with it. It just sounded really cool. It's turn-based battles as well, but it's like a story-based game where you're a little mouse essentially living in a human world and there's a tragedy that happens and there's some revenge. There's a bit of a revenge story happening. The mouse wants to get revenge on a human. He's called the humans are gods to to the mice because they're, I guess, big and they, live in their own world and they have all these inventions and whatever. So he's on a journey to find this human and defeat him or her. They use human tools, which they call they call the tools of the gods, and so he's got a weapon which is a little Swiss Army knife, which is pretty neat. This game is really fun. I'm really enjoying this. It's sort of a top-down isometric view, and you walk through, you talk to people. There's not that much in terms of battles. It's not like battle, 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 battle. There's a lot more story than I was expecting, which is fine and good. And it really introduces you to a lot of different characters. So you meet a mole called Siobhan, and she's sort of a princess, I guess, but she is exiled for wanting to do something that the rest of the moles don't want to do. So she joins the quest with this little mouse. His name is Verm, which I guess is short for vermin. She joins his quest. There's a pigeon who helps you fly from place to place. There's another mouse, a sort of a bigger mouse called, what's her name? Now I can't remember her name. There's also a bit of, yeah, there's a lot of different characters. And the cool thing is you swap between them. Oh yeah, there's a squirrel. There's a squirrel. He's really neat. He has a boyfriend as well. There's a bit of that kind of element to it where it talks about relationships, especially same-sex relationships. It's not in your face or anything, but it does touch on that. So the squirrel has, I think he's a hamster boyfriend, which is kind of cool. And they're trying to do something different. They have their own little side quest happening, and you get to play as them. Sometimes they join your party, and you can use them in battles. There's like the pair, which is usually Verm and Siobhan. You sort of see what they're doing, and then you go off and see what the squirrel and the hamster are doing. And then there's this other giant mouse as well, who you see what she's doing. There's a lot of different stories, and they kind of all segue and interact, and it's really cool. It's really neat. There's some really good lore involved. For example, you go to this sky tower where it's run by the grey squirrels, and the squirrel character that I mentioned, he's a red squirrel, and he's not welcome there because he's a red squirrel, and it's just this whole thing. It's really interesting. It's really well done. I like the little subtle kind of social commentary that's in there without being too in your face. It's kind of nice, but the characters are all really neat. The story is really good. The gameplay is fun and easy. The battles are pretty satisfying. They're not too hard or complicated, but there's a lot to them. Like you get points. You can use sort of action points, I guess. Like you get a certain number of moves, and they replenish one move per turn. So you can choose to will you use 1 point or will you use 2 points? But obviously then you will have fewer points for the next round. Yeah, there's sort of healing moves, berserk moves. There's a few cool things to it. Yeah. And there's a bit of exploration involved, a few little puzzles so far. I think it's not a super long game. I believe it's maybe 10 or maybe not even 10 hours worth. I'm like 2 or 3 hours into it. So I probably will try to finish this one because it's not a long one anyway, and it is neat. Um, like I said, we will have a review either way. One of us will be reviewing it, so it'll be up on the website. But yeah, it's nice to give it a little bit of promotion because I think it's quite cheap. And was it on sale, this one? Let me just double check. Sorry, before I do commit, because it is a new game as well. It only came out in August, so it's $20. Sorry, it's not on sale. I think it might have had a small 10% discount on launch week, but that's finished now because it's August. It came out August the 14th. But it is a nice little game. From Vertical Reach as the publisher. If you're interested in sort of top-down RPGs with a difference, where you're a mouse who fights things like cats and cockroaches and rats, and even there's a squid at one point. Yeah, give it a go. Yeah, it's a different little take on things that I and the graphics are really nice. It's sort of almost like looks like a Tandron. I don't think it is, but it has that sort of pencil look to it where it's just got the outline and it's quite neat and colorful, but in a not exactly a retro pixelated way, but a nice, clean, cartoony looking way, if that makes sense. Yeah. Had you heard of this one?
I hadn't until the offer that we had and were
Yeah,
passing around. So yeah, I took a look at it. Now I do have one question though,
sure.
because there is a image on the eShop where it looks like a mouse is about to take a switchblade to a cat.
Yes.
Um, how are the attacks and the animations handled in this game?
Yeah, I thought the same thing because I saw that picture and I'm like, is that cat gonna die? Um, yeah, no, he doesn't. There's no blood. It's not gory. It does say T. It's rated T for teens. Fantasy
Mhm.
violence language, mild blood, suggestive themes, use of alcohol. I didn't see any blood, and the cat didn't die. I think you just wore him down and he ran away, kind of thing. I mean, the mole Siobhan in another shot is using flames. Like her weapon is like a lighter, I think, and she's
Oh
flaming the
yeah,
cat.
cigarette lighter. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you'd think it's Wasabi Knife, and he does slash things, but they come back. Like he fights these two rats, and then later on they reappear. The cat you fight at least twice. I fought this cat, so you're not necessarily killing the cat because I wouldn't want to do that either. I don't think, even though the protagonist is the mouse, and the cat is he's not really even part of the story. He's just there blocking the way, so he's not even really an antagonist. He's just a bit of a, he's a cat. He's like, I'm a cat, you're a mouse, you're not coming past, kind of thing. But yeah, it's maybe not as violent as it seems. But yeah, there are battles. You are attacking things. Yeah, I can just leave it at that. The
Okay.
cat doesn't seem
But yeah,
to perish or die. You don't see the cat with its tongue lolling out and blood everywhere or anything like that.
I'm just imagining like Sophie playing this game and coming across
Mm,
that scene, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, it does look clever. I like the costumes that they have on. It looks like there's one screenshot here where it looks like one of the characters has turned a pencil maybe into a flute
Yes, yes,
of
yes.
type. So yeah, it looks like the developers definitely had some fun as they were putting the
Yeah,
designs and
yes.
characters together here.
That's the main squirrel. He's a bard, actually. He's not even a warrior. He's a bard. So he plays the flute with his pencil flute, and his flute gives healing powers or lets you attack again, type of thing, if he's in your party at that time.
Okay.
He's really cool. And he has what I would call, and there's no voice acting, but the text reads as if he has a Scottish accent. And it is set in
Uh,
London, so it's all very UK based in terms of the settings. You can see Big Ben in the background in one point, but he's obviously Scottish because he says things that you can read. If you read it, it sounds like a Scottish accent would say it, if that makes sense. So yeah, he's a
yep.
Scottish red squirrel who is also a bard and has a hamster boyfriend. So yeah. Very quirky characters. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's a fun little one. Definitely worth a try if you're interested. But we have time for one more game from Kirk. And what else are you playing this week?
Well, this time I'm playing a spin on the Disgaea. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. I really should find someone who knows what they're talking about with
That's
that.
how would say it, I think. But
Okay.
I'm not the best at pronouncing things either. So
Yeah. Well, this one is Disgaea Mayhem, which takes the standard formula of those games and which usually involve turn-based combat, which we've talked a lot about
we
on
have.
this one.
Mm.
And now they've turned it into an action-based game. There is no turn-based combat anymore. Now you are running forth on these fields and fighting your enemies all Musu style.
Ah.
So a very interesting spin on what has traditionally been, a very rigid sort of like a game set. Um, and it's the character, the artwork is the same. It's got the same attitude, the same type of, animals and beasts that you would fight. If you played any of these games, then you're going to recognize everything about this, really, except for the gameplay itself. It's centered around there's this princess. I cannot recall her name, mainly because you don't see her a lot. It centers around a main character, a fella named just N.A., as in not applicable, I guess. I don't know what the N.A. stands for, but
Hmm.
that's his actual name. Um, he is coming to help out because there's been kind of this rebellion. These characters have all turned on the princess, and she needs help getting them back. And like the incentive on all this is centers around flan, um,
Like
which
the baked
again
thing?
fits in perfectly, I guess, for the Disgaea series. But basically, what happens, she says, well, this person did it, and you got to go take this, take. Well, you're not taking him out; you're convincing him through combat to come back to the princess. So you go out on these fields, you enter into these fights. Basically, the premise is you go out and there are like say 3 different battles you're taking on. I mentioned Musu style, and that's what it is. Although very, very, very pared back. You're not going. It's not 1 against 1,000 here. It's 1 against maybe a couple dozen. Um, but you have different weapons that you're allowed to purchase, equip, level up. different armor. You can recruit, like after you beat certain enemies in combat, you can recruit them and join them, and you can take one into battle with you at a time to get different, perks or buffs along the way. And you can level them up too, and you can equip them. You go into these battles, eventually you work your way up to the boss. The boss is a little more difficult to fight. And you take him out, and then it's back to your main base. The further you get into the game, the more elements of the base open up. So you have more power ups that you can do. There's like this court session where you go in and you like want to level up a certain thing, and you need to convince the people on the court to go along with it. And you can
Is
do that by bribing them.
is that the screenshot with the two little blue birds with the I and the nay? Is that the court thing?
Yes, that is it.
Yeah, okay.
And the eyes are good. The eyes have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could go around in any items you have in your inventory. Like it'll say like, yeah, I kind of agree, or maybe not, and it'll say something like this person can be bought more or less, and not that way. But so you kind of bribe them, you get them to join you, and then you say, all right, now let's have the vote. And if the vote passes, you get the power up. If it doesn't, you enter into combat if you want to try to beat them to join you. So there's an awful lot going on. It's again, if you played a Disgaea game, you're going to be comfortable with just about everything in here except the combat. But I will say the combat is not terribly difficult. So if you're put off by the idea of having to actually go into real time fights, don't be. It's really not that hard. It's very easy to get yourself overpowered pretty quickly. I found, and the combat is really not that diverse. It's kind of the same thing throughout. So if you're thinking you've never played one of these games before and you would like to get in because you're more familiar with Musu style or action oriented games, oriented RPGs, probably not the best game to really try. I think it's going to appeal more to fans of the series, even though they have changed it up, because it's got that sense of humor. It's making all kinds of references. It really is a game for the fans, and I felt that way with some of the Disgaea games I played before. Like it's created this little community for itself. This game still, although not part of the main series, still fits into that community.
Yeah, sounds like it. That's interesting. So did you say this has been on other platforms before? Or
I don't
no.
know. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's out on something. I could look it
Oh,
up real
okay.
quickly.
Oh, that's okay. It is a Switch 2 game as well, which is nice.
Yes.
So
Yeah, Switch 2 only.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and there is, like the other Disgaea games, there's a ton of DLC you could purchase as well. But the good news is this one does have a demo.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you played any of those games before
Oh, yeah, it
and
does
want
too.
to see
Mm.
if you could get into it, then yeah, hop on in and get started.
And it also has DLC by the looks of it as well.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah. That's cool. Thank you, Kirk. It does seem like, just even looking at the screenshots, it's just, and I have played one Disgaea game for I think, and they're great. Like there's just so much happening, and it's like it's very
Yes.
anime-esque. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. It's got that attitude. It's
Mm,
fun.
mm.
The character interactions are, you'll laugh out loud often, I think. If you have that kind of sense of humor, it is an awful lot to manage. And it can get away from you very quickly. So that's one thing to prepare yourself for. Characters level up quickly, and there are a lot of ways to do it. And, if you're not paying attention, things could, just go off in the wrong direction. So
Mm,
but like I said, anybody who's played a Disgaea game before and liked it, understands that, knows it. All of that is still here.
yeah. I think it's a new game. I think it might have come out earlier this year, potentially on other platforms. A bit hard to find information on it.
Okay.
And this
Yeah.
is the Switch 2 version, but it's not an old game or anything like that. So yeah.
No. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. And it did just come out for, I shouldn't say just, it's been out for, as we record this, exactly a month. It was released
yeah.
July 23rd. So our review is behind, but we'll be up soon.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. Thank you, Kirk.
Yep.
That's awesome. We've covered a lot, and we're a little bit ahead of time for once. Our shows have been running to 1 hour 20, but we're just at the 110 mark. So it's good. We can cut things off a little shorter this week. But did you have anything else you'd like to add or say before we do close things off for the week?
Nope. I think that'll do it.
Nice. Well, thank you very much, Kirk, for joining me. Thank you, listeners. We'd love to know what you're playing. Let us know the games you're playing this week, what you're interested in, what you're looking forward to at Gamescom, etc. If you played Duskbloods, definitely let us know your thoughts on all of the stuff we talked about today. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can do so over on Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube. If you'd like to support us, you can go to patreon.com/Pure Nintendo and subscribe to our print magazine, the latest issue of which is out now. Are they on their way to people, the current issue?
No, they're actually on their way to me.
Okay,
Um,
nice. Well, they're
they're
on their way to
supposed
you.
to arrive again. It's Sunday night where I am now, and they're supposed to arrive on Monday. So I should
Cool.
have them within the day, and they will go out within a couple days after that.
Brilliant. That is so exciting. Yes. Well, some people in Australia have got their hands on them because I was at the markets, like I said at the start of the show. So they were able to buy them on the weekend. So we've got them out into the wild, which is wonderful. If you do want a copy, if you live in Brisbane or in Australia and you happen to be in Brisbane, they will be on the shelf at Netherworld in the Valley and at Comic Book Cafe in Albion. So head on over to those two venues and you can grab yourself a copy off the shelf. But if you hit the Patreon link, you will be able to subscribe and we'll send them to you. So that's cool as well. But thank you so much, Kirk. Thank you, everybody. And until next week, game on, everybody.